Hey guys, welcome to our Star Wars Mandalorian discussion podcast. This is going to be chapter 13, The Jedi. But before we get into all of that, I'm Dave, and that's Kage. We're going to hit the hyperdrive, and let's do this thing. Alright guys, chapter 13, The Jedi. It's directed by Dave Filoni. That's going to be hugely important. But before that, plot synopsis. The Mandalorian journeys to a world ruled by a cruel magistrate who has made a powerful enemy. Who is Ahsoka Tano.
Now we're just jumping right into that. So,
Hold on. I gotta get something off my chest. I'm so excited to see her. This was amazing.
The build
to see her in real life.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job. It's realistic to see her the way she is. Like they I don't know. The effects and everything were really well done.
It was very well done. To see her cutting through the shadows, it was very Ahsoka. I loved it. I'm going to get into this later. Rosario did an amazing job. We'll get into that later. Tell us about Ahsoka Tano. Give me a little bit of a background. I already know, but for the fans out there that may not.
Right, so
what do you got?
The background of Ahsoka is, well, the quick and dirty of it is that she was the Padawan to Anakin Skywalker, later becomes Vader. She leaves the Jedi Order, before achieving the rank of Jedi Knight. So she's kind of just a Force-sensitive user at this point. She proceeds from there.
A gray Jedi?
I'm sorry?
A gray Jedi?
I don't know if I would call her even a Jedi. I don't know. Probably Grey Jedi would be correct. But yeah, she then proceeds to, even though she's left the Order, she continues to fight through the Clone Wars and into the animated series of Rebels. And now she is here in The Mandalorian. And she seems to be doing pretty well for herself. She still has all of her limbs, unlike some other Star Wars cast members. And she seems to still be... I don't know. She's just keeps on going. I think she's still going to be very important to the rest of the lore. She's been important for all of Star Wars at this point, in my opinion.
Yes, the Filoni-verse is going to build, and she will be there. You don't cast somebody like Rosario Dawson for one episode, I don't think.
No bit roles.
Plus, I happen to know that she wanted to play this role ever since it's been like a fan idea or whatever, or her herself. She always wanted to do it. So,
to be fair,
do it for one episode.
I'd play Ahsoka Tano if I was given the chance. Who doesn't want to be in Star Wars? Like last episode, you got T-shirt jeans guy. I'm jealous of him.
You could have been him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
That could have been me.
I cannot be Ahsoka Tano, but I can be T-shirt and jeans guy.
Yeah, see?
Let me add it. I like it. Okay, so I'm so excited to see her. But what is next?
So
stay on track.
One of the things that we first see that's actually related to her is Morai. I would say her owl. Would you say that's correct?
Maybe Morai, maybe be her spirit animal, I would say.
I would say guardian, maybe, but I feel that Morai is very, very important. Morai is essentially a guardian to, I would say, yeah, like a spirit animal, I guess. In this case, to Ahsoka, and she represents the daughter, who is part of the Mortis gods. And
the daughter is the light side of the Force embodied, essentially, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And so I believe that the owl's always been seen with the daughter portrayed, so I believe that is essentially the guardian, or that is the daughter itself. We see the owl again in Rebels. So
what do you think it means here? Seeing Morai here.
Ahsoka is still potentially the light side of the Force, or the balance to the Force.
Yes,
I think that it's very telling that she is still on the same path she was on before.
Yes, I agree with this. I like this quite a bit. I think we may touch on this a little bit later, actually. We see some other Rebels symbolism though too, right?
Yeah, other than that, I mean, we got the Loth Cat. There's a split screen there of the Loth Cat, which looks a little bit more demonic, and then the Loth Cat in Rebels. And I
Equally
mean,
demonic, I think, in real life though. Those
that's
eyes.
they seem to be like they would terrorize everything. Like I wouldn't want to run into one in the middle of the night or even
I,
during the day, I
I wouldn't
guess.
want to see my cat in that state. I'll tell you that. I'm good.
I don't know
I'm
if
good.
my cat takes that stance, I'm walking away. I'm just
That's what I'm
uh-uh.
saying.
Not nope.
About.
But
But
the Loth Cat
go on.
is, I'd say, just as important as Morai the Owl because it represents another potential Jedi who I think we may see later, Ezra Bridger, also from Rebels. And so to see two symbols of Jedi and from Rebels in the same episode, I think that's all foreshadowing to see who we'll see later.
I agree. I think that we are building a Filoni verse in this episode. I mean, wow, we were all like, "Yeah, we're gonna see Ahsoka Tano. It's gonna be amazing," and it was. It was amazing. But there's all this other stuff that went on too. That is major stuff going on here.
This whole episode was full of Easter eggs. This season has been great. Every episode, this show's getting better and better.
Yes, and I agree. I think that when you see a Loth cat, it means that Ezra is not far behind. So it's close.
That or maybe Kanan Jarrus?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm just spitballing. It could be him too. I don't know.
I have my doubts on that one. I think it's going to be Ezra. I think that it's something that to build this Filoni verse, you know, I think it will be him.
Okay.
In the end. Speaking of the Filoni verse, though, we have two people or one person that leads into somebody that we've seen a bunch of times. Who's
Right.
next,
So
right?
in this
Thrawn?
episode, Ahsoka is seeking knowledge from the magistrate on her boss, the Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that is huge. Grand Admiral Thrawn essentially, well, he is the top guy essentially. I mean, other than Vader during Rebels during that time period, and I mean, he rose from the ranks as what he was just a soldier, and he can take on assassin droids with his bare hands. You can see that in the show. So the fact that Ahsoka is still pursuing Thrawn, I think I'm just excited. I'm just really excited to see what is she gonna do. Like, what is her end game here? Does he still have her family talisman? No, they got that back.
Yeah.
But I think that she sees Thrawn as the number one issue in the galaxy for her at this point in time, or maybe it's just this is something she can tackle. She can't take on Vader. I don't think so.
When I talked about how I thought that Palpatine is still behind the scenes pulling the strings, and I still think that's the case. I never really thought about that for Dave Filoni. Thrawn is directly in the middle of that, and Thrawn is an amazing character. He's so calculated.
One thing,
He's awesome.
oh yeah, he is super calculated. And one thing that's noted about the magistrate, which is Morgan Elsbeth is the character's name, is that she is the architect for the Imperial fleet that is run by Thrawn, and I think the whole planet is just in desolation, and that's because I think that they just mine those planets out to build up the fleets. So that she is a good stepping stone for Ahsoka to get to Thrawn. I think we will see him later in this, if not this season, the next.
Probably next season, or the end of the very end of this season. Who knows? There's still so much still to see with like those dark troopers and all that kind of stuff.
That's true. I think I'm thinking further down the line.
Probably, but we're building this. I think this was his chance to see like throw it to the fans and see if this will stick. And I think it's stuck. I think everything in this episode, fans are like, "Give me more, give me more."
Yeah, I mean this episode was directed by Filoni, so I mean it's jam packed with so much stuff that he's worked on. they have to keep rolling with it at this point. It's out there. They can't mention Thrawn and not show him later. So,
Yes, I completely agree.
but yeah,
What's next?
Ahsoka faces down with the magistrate looking for that information, and then
Yes.
yeah. So how do you think that they did portraying these characters?
This is a very, very cool scene. I think it may be a little bit extended because of how cool of a scene it is. Because I think Ahsoka would end this quick. It was very cool to see a Beskar staff though. That I think may be used. This may be how Mando may come into play first the Darksaber later on.
That's a good
These
point.
may be things. These may be
think
useful
about that.
things. These may be useful things to have in his collection. I don't think he may melt it down right away. I think they may look at it. Beyond that, though, these actresses are amazing. First, the magistrate. Do you know who she's related to?
The only thing I specifically know about her is I believe her father is a martial artist who trained under Bruce Lee.
She is Bruce Lee's goddaughter.
Oh, okay. I know that she's a martial artist herself, and not only a stunt woman, but an actress in multiple big hit movies.
Yes, she's certified awesome. For sure. Very cool in my opinion. Love to see her. Would love to see more. Very cool. That's why I say that I think the scene may be drawn out a little bit just to see this awesome choreography going on. But because in my opinion, Ahsoka would,
Well,
would end this.
she manages to disarm Ahsoka from one of her sabers, and that
She does.
that doesn't happen. Not many people have managed to do anything like that.
No,
So yeah, I
definitely
think
not.
that fight, I loved it. Everything about it. It was a little drawn out at the beginning, but once they started rolling, I couldn't get enough of it.
So Ahsoka is played by Rosario Dawson, who major I don't know what you know about her, but her nerd cred is crazy. Okay, so let me just go through some movies that I know that she's been. Okay, so Men in Black 2 was big, in our when we were growing up. She was in Clerks 2. She's in Frank Miller's Sin City. Who Frank Miller? He's who made the Dark Knight trilogy comics. Okay, so that's crazy. Okay, she has been the voice of animated Wonder Woman and Batgirl.
Oh, wow.
Okay, she plays Claire Temple in the Netflix Marvel world, which is Daredevil, Iron Fist, Defenders, and Luke Cage. She's a nurse, if I believe. She patches a lot of these guys up. It all takes place in this city, and she's the thing that ties all these shows together. She's hard. She's a nerd, man, and like I said, she wanted to play Ahsoka Tano, and it's cool. I think it's really cool. This was great.
I think she fits the role very well. She played the character out pretty much exactly how I would have expected, and yeah, I have no complaints myself.
Right. That's what I was kind of, when I watched it the second time, I was looking at it and I was like, it just makes sense. Like, I don't question that this is Ahsoka Tano, even though it's the first time you see her in live. I'm like, I don't question it. It's correct.
For me, it was a little weird transitioning between animated to live action, but honestly, as the episode progressed, yeah, I didn't question it.
Yeah, she does a great job, I think. Like I was saying earlier, I love one of those quotes that she gives out. And it's really Ahsoka Tano that I like first, good or bad, they're always memorable. That sounds like something Ahsoka would say. I love that.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, but something we can't forget. This is huge. This can't get Grogu.
They gave us a name drop. He's no
How do
longer
you feel about it?
He's no longer just a child. He is not Baby Yoda. He's Grogu. Force sensitive. He was apparently trained by Jedi Masters on Coruscant at one point in time. And I have no idea how. I'm assuming Ahsoka and Grogu spoke via telepathy or the Force of some
Yeah.
sort. But I absolutely love that they gave him a name now. And when Mando goes, "Hey Grogu," and he just perks right up. What? Oh, that's my name. What do you want? Like it's interesting because on one
I like
hand,
his name.
to me, he's still a child, but at the same time, I mean, he's 50 years old. I don't know, he seems like an intelligent being at times. Other times, that's still baby.
I agree with that. I agree. But he's
But
definitely growing this season. He's getting more responsibility. When he was a mechanic.
yeah, he was a mechanic.
Lots of things. Whether he's ready for it or not, he's getting responsibilities.
That seems to be pretty par for the course for any Jedi training. Whether you're ready or not, here you come.
I love his past, though. I love that we see that he was on Coruscant during Order 66 and survived, obviously. And he there's lots of speculation there, about how he survived, who may have helped him survive, lots of things. I will not dive into that at this point. His future, though, he is on his way to, what is this planet called?
They're going to the planet of Tython.
Yes, Tython.
Yeah, they're
which
looking
I know
for the Jedi.
an extended world is massive. Tell me about this. What you know?
The Jedi Temple on Tython is what they're looking for.
Yes.
And if I've read correctly, that is like the birthplace of the Jedi Council. That's the birthplace of the Order.
That's
That's
what I
why
know. Yep.
it's still standing. So that makes sense as to why he could go there and have such a strong connection to any other Jedi that happened to be out there.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you think any Jedi will answer him?
I think they definitely will at this point. I mean, they can't tease that and not have any response. Well, they could. But I mean, during this
Do you
point
have
in
any
time,
speculation as to who it may be?
I'm thinking it's Ezra right now. I mean,
I agree.
there's a chance that it's Luke. I don't want it to be Luke because during this time period, what's going on is Luke's assembling students and creating his school. But
Yeah.
as far as I understand, anybody that went to Luke's school either joined Kylo Ren or was killed by him. So, and I don't recall seeing a little tiny Grogu with the Knights of Ren. I mean, then again, maybe they just had the camera too high.
I have a couple different theories where I think that it's definitely Ezra. One is this Filoni verse,
Mm-hmm.
it ties it all together. Two, in the real world, I don't think that you could get Mark Hamill to come on for an episode of The Mandalorian. I think he's probably good.
It depends if he likes the show or not. But I think he is.
I don't know.
He does seem kind of done at this point. But maybe I'm wrong.
I may be wrong as well. But that's my speculation. Is that I think it's Ezra because for multiple in universe and real life situations is what I come to this conclusion.
So, question:
yes.
Do you think that a Jedi will train him if they do find him? Do you think that Grogu's future? Do you believe that he will grow up to be a Jedi?
It's a tough question because I think that he should not be trained. He has obviously you have seen him do things that are not very Jedi, especially for the amount of training that he's and the amount of people that he's apparently been around. Like he was at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. He was soaking in a lot of knowledge for a lot of years.
Apparently he blacked out. He doesn't remember anything. So maybe that's where he
true.
started. Maybe he went on he went to the dark side and went to a rage, and that's where he learned all his force choking.
No matter. He has formed these attachments and he cannot I don't think that I think Ahsoka's correct. I think that he should not be trained. But with that said, there's not a lot of Jedi left. So their choices are not very plentiful. And
if they plan to continue, if they want to keep the Jedi Order running, yes. Which, as we learn later, Luke doesn't feel that should be the case. But that's much further down the road.
Maybe he's an example, though, of why this shouldn't be continued.
Okay.
Because of like Ahsoka's worried that he'd turn out like Anakin, and that's a fair complaint after what has happened to her and her former master.
So I'm gonna pivot to something. It's the title of the episode, The Jedi.
Yes.
I have some theories about it, and I guess so. My first theory about this is, are they referring to, when they say the Jedi, are they referring to Ahsoka, or are they referring to Grogu? Because if Ahsoka isn't technically a Jedi anymore, and Grogu may be.
That's where it's a tough question. I think that seeing Morai may be an indicator that, like I said, there's not a lot of Jedi left, and Ahsoka, her alignment is definitely not Sith. She is definitely a Jedi if you were to go into that kind of black and white kind of, which it is with Morai and her brother. I don't remember his name. He's the Sith side of the story, the fairy tale kind of, and so maybe, but I think that it's tough. I don't know. What do you think?
Like I said, I think that it's, I don't think it's about Ahsoka. I think there's a hidden meaning in there. I think they're referring to the child. They're revealing the child as a Jedi in this episode. But maybe I'm wrong. They did say that, I mean, his goal was to find the Jedi, and then they were directed by Bo-Katan to a Jedi, Ahsoka Tano. So, I mean, we'll only find out later on. Although, I'm still gonna, I don't think Grogu will go on to be a Jedi. I still am sticking to my guns. Grogu is going to be a Mandalorian.
Right.
And the title of the show, I think, is about Grogu, the Mandalorian.
Okay. Bold statement, but I dig it. I 100% dig it.
We'll see when the show comes to an end.
I do like, that it could be Ahsoka, the Jedi. It could be where they're going next. The next step is to find the Jedi going to the temple. It's a tough question because I don't think Ahsoka would consider herself a Jedi.
I agree. I do agree with that.
She says that a Jedi may come, but there's not very many of them, which means me to think that it's Ezra. But only time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys, we could talk about this all day. This episode was crazy, but I think we about wrapped it up for this week. So, don't forget, this is not the podcast you were looking for.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with our current work. If you missed the previous video, you can check it out right here.